lot of women find themselves in this situation. They go on a date and it was great, or so they thought, but the guy never calls. Every woman wants that perfect relationship where they get unconditional love from the other person. And sometimes women are too blind to see the signs that guys are sending us. I'll admit I'm guilty of this too. I've been in that situation. But then I read the book, He's Just Not That Into You. And it made me think, and it made me realize that women should stop wasting their time on guys who just might not be into them. I also read a book called How to Tell He's Not the One in 10 Days and Other Warning Signs, which, after you realized he's not into you, you're okay with that because you realize that he was a jerk and he just wasn't the one for you anyways. He's just not that into you if he's not asking you out. Because, face it, if a guy liked you, he would ask you out. Men aren't stupid, or as stupid as we make them out to be. We may think that they send us crazy mixed signals, but more often than not, they're not sending us mixed signals. They're trying to tell us that they're not into us, but we're too oblivious to it. So, you're at a bar. A guy gives you his number, and you think, you've got control. You've got all the power. You decide when you call him and when you ask him out. But when you do call him and ask him out, he has the power to say no. And if he misses your call, he has the power to not even return your phone call. So the guy still has the power. Face it, if he really liked you, he would get your number and he would just ask you out then and there. He wouldn't wait for you to ask him out. He's just not that into you if he's a selfish jerk, a bully, or a big freak. When somebody loves somebody, they do whatever they can to make the other person happy. So you may say that your man's got good qualities and bad qualities, but the good qualities outweigh the bad qualities, but don't do that. Don't try to make the good outweigh the bad, or don't make lists or anything. Look at his daily actions, and if your happiness isn't important to him, cut him loose. You may say, oh, he's trying to get better, or, well, he may be mean to me in public, but he's really sweet to me when it's just the two of us. Those are just excuses that women make. If guys only focus on themselves or they don't treat you right, then they're not into you. Because if they were, then they would do whatever they could to make you happy, and they wouldn't be rude to you in front of your friends. So stop making excuses, put your optimism on hold, and just take a look at the signals that your man is sending you, and realize that he just might not be into you. How to tell he's not the one in 10 days. He's just not that into you if he's not calling you. So he doesn't call you for a couple weeks, and when he finally does, he calls you with some lame excuse of why he hasn't called you earlier, and you believe it. He tells you that he's been thinking of you and wanting to call you, but the 7 on his phone was broken, so he couldn't, and you believe him. Don't listen to the lame excuses the guys make. If he was into you, he would call you and ask you out. That's sign number 1, that he's a dud and that he's not into you. Sign number 2. He's just not into you if he's married or already in a relationship. You meet a guy at a party, and you see that he's been flirting with this girl the whole night, but he comes over and talks to you and tries to hook up with you, and you ask him who the girl was. But he tells you that he ditched his sister to come over and talk to you, but you realize that it's a little odd that he would be checking out his sister's rack the whole night. If a guy is married or in a relationship and he tells you that he's not, or even if you know that he is and he doesn't leave the other person to be with you, he's not into you. And if he is in a relationship and he's cheating on someone, then he's a jerk. And if he doesn't tell you that he's in a relationship, he's an even bigger jerk. Women no longer have an excuse to be naive and oblivious to the signs that guys send us. In this situation, knowledge is power, and the more that you know, you'll be able to recognize his signs and realize that he just might not be into you. So, guys really don't send us mixed signals. They're only sending us one signal. So stop obsessing over why he hasn't called you or why it doesn't work out, and realize that it's okay that he's not the one. Women waste too much time wondering why he didn't call or why it didn't work out. I hope that after hearing this today, you might change your life a little. You might take time, if you're ever in one of these situations, to stop and think. Don't make excuses for your man. If he's into you, then you'll know it. But if there's any question that he's not into you or he's acting a little shady, then you just need to realize that he's just not that into you, and you need to make a change and go and be in a bigger and better relationship, because after all, it is your life and you need to lead. And if you want to be in have a better life and be in a better relationship, then you might just have to realize he's just not that into you.